We come to learn from each other, to steal the best practices, and to adapt them to the unique rhythms of our own hometowns. We talk about bike lanes, about protected intersections, about traffic calming. But today, I want to talk about something far less glamorous, yet absolutely fundamental to the success of any cycling city. I want to talk about where the bike stops. Because you can build the most beautiful cycling superhighway in the world. You can connect every neighborhood with seamless, protected infrastructure. But if a rider arrives at their destination and has nowhere safe, convenient, and orderly to park, that journey is a failure. That rider will think twice before taking the bike next time. And there is no country on earth that has understood this fundamental truth better than Japan. The statistic is staggering. In Japan, specifically in cities like Osaka, they have achieved a density of 78 bicycle parking spaces for every 1,000 inhabitants. Let that number sink in for a moment. 78 spaces for every 1,000 people. That is not a transportation policy. That is a cultural commitment etched in steel and concrete. But to truly understand what that number means, we have to understand the chaos it prevents. Imagine, if you will, a typical suburban train station in a city like Tokyo or Osaka. At rush hour, thousands of people pour out of the neighborhoods, not in cars, but on bicycles. They arrive at the station and they need to park. They need to lock up their bike and jump on the train for the final leg of their commute into the hyper-dense city center. Now, imagine that scene without order. You would have bicycles chained to every lamppost, blocking the sidewalks, piled against storefronts, creating an impassable maze for pedestrians, especially for the elderly or those with strollers. It would be a nightmare. It would be a war for space. But in Japan, it is not a nightmare. It is a symphony. And the conductor of that symphony is the bicycle parking facility. The Japanese didn't just designate a few racks and hope for the best. They elevated bicycle parking to an art form, a science, and an integral part of the transportation network. Let me paint you a picture of what this looks like on the ground. You arrive at a Japanese train station and you are greeted not by a sea of haphazardly parked bikes, but by a multi-story parking structure dedicated entirely to bicycles. It could be a massive, efficiently designed shed capable of holding thousands of bikes, managed by attendants who ensure everything is neatly organized. It could be a sleek, modern tower of glass and steel, and inside, a mechanical marvel. This is the bicycle parking robot, the EcoCycle. You roll your bike up to a secure door, you swipe a card, the door opens, a mechanical arm gently takes your bicycle and whisks it away into the darkness of the tower, storing it in a vacant slot, dozens of feet in the air. When you return in the evening, you swipe your card again, and within seconds, your bike is delivered back to you, as if by magic. It is clean, it is secure, it is efficient, and it uses a fraction of the land that surface parking would require. It is the ultimate expression of a society that values order, efficiency, and the sanctity of public space. But this infrastructure did not appear by magic. It was born out of necessity and a fierce determination to maintain public order. In the 1970s and 80s, as Japan's cycling boom took off, the problem of abandoned bicycles, or chirin-gomi, literally bicycle garbage, became a major civic issue. Sidewalks were becoming impassable. So, the Japanese government did something remarkable. They passed national laws that shifted the responsibility. They empowered municipalities to designate zones where parking was strictly forbidden and to impound bikes immediately. But they didn't just use a stick. They paired it with a massive carrot. They mandated that train operators and local governments provide ample, often free or very low-cost parking facilities. They made it the responsibility of the station to absorb the bikes. They created a system where it was easier and safer to park your bike legally than it was to break the rules. This density of 78 spaces per 1,000 inhabitants is not just about storage. It is about unlocking the potential of multimodal transport. It's the hinge that connects the bicycle to the train, the bus, the subway. In Japan, the bike is not seen as a competitor to public transit. It is its most powerful ally. It extends the catchment area of a train station from a 500-meter walk to a 2-kilometer bike ride. It turns every cyclist into a potential transit rider. What can we learn from this? First, we must change our mindset. We treat bicycle parking as an afterthought, something to be squeezed into a leftover space after the cars have been accommodated. The Japanese treat it as a primary infrastructure, deserving of its own buildings, its own budgets, and its own dedicated planning teams. Second, we must embrace density and innovation. We cannot be afraid of multi-story parking for bikes. We cannot be afraid of automation. If we are serious about getting people out of cars, we have to provide parking solutions at our transit hubs that are just as convenient as the park and ride lot for cars. The EcoCycle Tower may seem like a futuristic novelty, but in a dense city where land is the most precious commodity we have, it is a logical and necessary solution. Third, we must integrate parking into the entire journey. A bike-friendly city doesn't just have good parking at the train station, it has good parking at the grocery store, at the school, at the library, at the office building. It has secure indoor parking for residents in apartment complexes. It normalizes the idea that your bike, like your car, needs a home at both ends of every trip. The statistic 78 per 1,000 people is a number, but behind that number is a philosophy. It is a philosophy that says public space is sacred and must not be cluttered. It is a philosophy that says order and convenience are not enemies of cycling, but its greatest enablers. It is a philosophy that says the bicycle is a serious mode of transport, deserving of serious infrastructure. When we look at Japan, we see the future. We see a place where the bicycle is woven into the fabric of daily life, not just for recreation, but for the daily commute, the school run, the trip to the market. And the secret to that success is not just in the riding, but in the parking. It is the silent symphony of 78 spaces playing in perfect harmony that allows the city to move. Let us listen to its tune and bring it home. Thank you.